Hi, Sheila here. Happy to have you join me for the next 10 or 15 minutes. I think we usually go longer than that. Some time to be together and to be present. So sometimes it's difficult to be present to whatever is unfolding, but yet that is the task at hand, to be able to be in the face of what is presented and not topple over, so to speak. So we cultivate that skillfulness a little bit at a time, which is why I encourage us all to be practicing, to be setting aside a little bit of time each day to just be quiet with yourself, to see what arises without judgment, without needing to change anything about it. It's not an easy task, but the benefits are quite far-reaching. So let's begin our time together by creating a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. With the intention of being upright and also relaxed. And then letting your eyes lower or close. And then asking yourself what's present. Just how it feels to be in a quieter space as we close off visual stimulation. And so awareness does move somewhat inward, but it doesn't necessarily get totally quiet, we notice. So let's just see if our main focus of attention can be the body and the breath for the next few moments as we settle. Closely noticing the seat that we've taken, making any small adjustments to the seat so that the spine has room to lengthen and the shoulders are encouraged to relax down and back. The arms and the hands comfortably relax in our lap, perhaps. And we start to notice what's always there, but usually hidden beneath the activity of our mind, which is sensation. The feel of the seat we've taken, the support of the chair or cushion, backs of the thighs and buttocks. If we're leaning back against our chair, then maybe the back of our torso. A preliminary investigation of what is here and allowing it to capture our complete attention. Can the crown of the head rise up towards the ceiling just a little bit so we feel a little length in the back and sides of the neck? And we appreciate that the shoulders can relax. And then we can start to focus a bit on the breath. At first, just noticing its presence. So we notice that it's always there, the breath, but when we get a little quiet and we pay attention on purpose, we may notice some things about it that are interesting, that are unique, and mostly attach us, link us to the present moment. Nothing about the next breath is connected to what happened yesterday, what anyone else said or did, whether we liked or disliked something that occurred. We invite ourselves into the direct experience of this breath. followed by the next breath. Maybe the breath gets a little deeper and fuller in these first few moments. And feel the chest, maybe the shoulders moving a little bit. And notice if you're breathing just from the upper chest, if you can allow the breath really to reach into the belly. The belly softens a little bit. We notice we can hold ourselves upright without tightening through the belly. So we can feel the breath pressing against the full length of the torso, into the belly, along the rib cage, up towards the clavicles and the shoulders. Paying equal attention to the release of the breath. And letting the breath fall to its natural rhythm, we can still stay connected. These times of practice usually focus on one of the three anchors, the breath, sensation somewhere in the body, or sounds that naturally drift in through the ears so that we notice. So each of us will select one of those three things that feels most appealing today. And what is appealing is that it captures our awareness. So we explore a little more fully and deeply. Maybe we notice that very moment when our intention to be present to one of the anchors kind of melts and drifts into thinking. We just notice that moment. We notice this is what the mind often does. And we notice that we can, on purpose, redirect attention right back to whatever anchor we were using. Really important not to scold the mind for doing what it does. More important to acknowledge and observe the journey back towards the experiences that are unfolding. So we notice the next breath. We notice the changing nature of sound. And what it is to explore more deeply sensation in the body, wherever that is most prevalent. And we allow that cycle. We recognize that it's just the way the practice goes for the most part. Being willing to begin again. And once that is our attitude, there really is a lot less frustration, a lot more acceptance, willingness. All under the experience of observing without comment. This is just how it is. There are thoughts, there's breath, there's sound, there's sensation. And sometimes they rotate, and sometimes we just choose one of the anchors and allow our focus to reside there for a while. A while can be a moment, a second, or 2 or 3 minutes. And there's no need to judge how long our attention hovers over the anchor or how many thoughts interrupt that preference. This is really a practice of observing and allowing. And over time, our mind becomes accustomed to less activity, perhaps, less amusement. And the relationship to whatever is going on right now feels like enough until it isn't, and thoughts arise. And we begin again. It's a very gentle, accommodating, easy practice. So let it be just that. What is present now? And if the answer is that thoughts are present, then thoughts are present. Is there a path back? Or there's some breadcrumbs to follow back, to greet the anchor, to notice? And the noticing is through direct experience rather than commentary. The experience of the next breath. The experience of a sound arising and then passing. the sensations of our body at rest, in contact with other body parts or our chair. How unique to just be the observer. Taking a few wider breaths as we prepare to release from this time together, and allowing the next few moments to be an observation of sound through singing bowl. 3 chimes that we can listen to as far out as we can. Just hold the sound. And when you notice the sound is really not available any longer, deepen the breath and let the eyes open really slowly. Are you adjusting your eyes to the light, looking around the room? So we notice what it feels like to be aware of our surroundings as opposed to being focused more inward. So whatever we experience when we're sitting in silence like that is always beneath our activity. The breath is always breathing, sounds are always occurring, and the body is always picking up sensations through awareness. So just know that mindfulness such as that is available to us as we walk through our days. So if you find yourself caught up in worrisome thoughts, troubling thoughts, that it's okay to pause, take a few breaths, and just connect with something that's in your environment. I've heard as a technique what's really helpful when you find yourself particularly distressed, perhaps, as I think is more and more common these days, and maybe it was last year at this time. Just look around your environment and name 3 or 4 things. It kind of grounds you to this reality. And by that I mean it takes us out of the reality we create here. Some of you remember I often start my talks with a quote by Mark Twain. He said something like, not a direct quote, paraphrasing here, "I'm a very old man. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened." Not exactly the way he worded it, but the idea is he experienced a lot of discomfort, and he realized that those things didn't necessarily happen in real time, but they happened up here, the space between his ears, as thoughts. And those can be equally as disturbing or pleasant, but they aren't real necessarily. Our thoughts aren't necessarily true. They are real, we are having them, they're just not always true. So the pause gives us a chance to notice that and maybe redirect our awareness and energy into the moment, to whatever is at hand. So as always, I hope that sitting together is helpful. Sitting alone is always wonderful. You can use other guides or try sitting by yourself for 5 minutes. If you've been watching these since March, you have an idea that there's a path back to the anchor, and you can probably guide yourself there a few times. It's rewarding to be able to do that. But if you like somebody guiding, that's equally beneficial. All good. Sometimes just nice to explore. So questions always welcome. Reach out through the community center. Come and join us on Thursdays between 10 and 10:30 if you want a live Zoom experience. Members of the group often share things that are helpful, and I'm available to kind of answer questions in real time. So be well, and I look forward to seeing you all before long. Bye.